In South Florida today, we mark 2 years since 17 people were killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High. A moment of silence held at 2:21 today, the moment the massacre began. Communities across the area came together for a day of service that ended with a commemoration ceremony.
And Local 10's Louis Aguirre joins us in the studio now with how families and survivors are remembering the victims on this difficult day.
And the families say this is something that they live with every single day. 2 years, and the pain of their loss is still very much alive, but driving them to make sure that change happens so that something like this never happens again.
2 years later, it's still fresh and still hurts. Families, loved ones, and first responders back at MSD to honor those gone too soon.
We live this reality every single day, but it's nice to see the community memorize the 17 angels that we lost.
Across South Florida, from Miami-Dade,
it could have affected any of us,
to Broward.
Please join me now in a moment of silence.
A day of reflection as all schools held moments of silence. Then, at 2:21, the moment the shooting began at MSD, many just stopped what they were doing and reflected.
It's 2 years too soon for my daughter Alyssa.
The anniversary is now a half day and a day of service in Broward County. This day beginning at MSD with a first responders breakfast hosted by students to say thank you.
It was difficult to come in and see all these young folks giving us applause and saying thank you for our services, understanding that not too long ago we came up short.
Hunter Pollock lost his sister Meadow and, like many families, has been fighting for reform ever since.
I'm proud to see the big school safety improvements that were made the other day.
Since the tragedy, the school district has made tens of millions of dollars in technology and security upgrades. But many say there's still so much left to do when it comes to gun violence prevention. Robert Shentrup lost his sister Carmen. He tweeted, 2 years later, and it feels like it could have been yesterday. Time flies, but also stands still. I have spent these past 2 years advocating for solutions to fix the ill-constructed systems that led to Carmen's death, and I will continue for the next 2 years and beyond.
And Fred Guttenberg, who lost his daughter Jamie, tweeting, I sent my children to school where they were supposed to be safe. They were not. Jamie became a victim of gun violence 2 years ago. Hard to believe. Every day is a new journey where I try to learn how to move forward and not move on. That is my reality. Guttenberg among so many MSD family members and students demanding gun reform laws. Calvin and Nicole, back to you.
Okay, Louis, thank you. And the Parkland community considers today to be a day of service. It's their way to honor the lives lost in this horrible massacre. Hundreds gathered at the Parkland Recreation Center to pack thousands of meals for those in need. Some say the event makes them realize there are still good people out there.
In the moment of sorrow, you're also able to give back. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
This is my second year doing this, and it reminds me that there are good people in the world and we're doing good today.
And at the Pines Trail Park, this beautiful art installation was unveiled today. It's called Resilience, and it tells the story of each one of the victims killed in the shooting. Later in the day, a crowd gathered at the park's amphitheater for a commemoration ceremony conducted by spiritual leaders to honor the 17 victims and the MSD community.
And a heartfelt memorial for the Parkland victims has been set up at the Havat of Parkland. The MSD Eagles Nashir Memorial is made up of more than 3,300 eagles forming the shape of 17 bigger eagles soaring to heaven through a heart. Hundreds of people have visited the sculpture since it was unveiled just last night.